Ladies and gentlemen, Vice Chairman of East-West Institute, Dr. Armin Sarkeesian.
Well, good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor and privilege to be here today, and I was asked to chair this distinguished panel. First of all, as a board member of the East-West Institute, I'm proud to say that the Institute is doing a great job by initiating this wonderful summit. It's the first one, and it's visionary. It shows leadership. So congratulations to all of my colleagues at the Institute, and specifically to those that have organized that. I have very professionally high-standing individuals that have accomplished a lot in their lives. The panel consists of James Steichleiter, who is the Chief Technology Officer of Dell Services. I'm not going to tell you about his life because everybody can find information not only on the website, on the internet, but also on the booklet which is printed. Then we have Matt Bros, Chief Technology Officer, Huawei Corporation. On my right, I have Judy Westby, who is the CEO of Global Cyber Risk LLC. And on my left, I have Lu Zhengrong, who is the Director General, China International Media Research Center and Deputy Director General, International Affairs Bureau, and so on. So the questions that we are asked to try to answer is more or less close to what the panelists before were trying to answer. How do we build international cybersecurity consensus? I have a group that consists of two people who are high professionals in technology, and I'm going to refer to them to find their views on that, and then two panelists who are experts, one from China, the other one from United States, experts on legal and international legal aspects of that. The way I would like to conduct this is to do it more sort of a relaxed, so I'll refer to my colleagues by first name. And I will ask them to make initial remarks for a couple of minutes. If I will have questions myself, I will use that opportunity to ask that questions. Then I'm going to ask you two with your questions. So can we do two processes parallel processing? If you can write your questions for the record and send it here, that will be great. But in the meantime, if we'll have enough time, I'm going to ask some of you. You raise your hands, it will be random quantum way of finding you, and asking you to come up with your name and your question. Questions and remarks must be very sharp to the point. If it's long, I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you. And at the end, I'm going to ask the panel to come up with their final words. So if there is no vote against, so we proceed. So I'm going to start with Jim. Jim, could you please, in your 5-6 minutes, try to answer the question that we are going to work hard on it. How do we build international consensus on cybersecurity?
Okay, thank you. It's interesting in thinking about the problem when I get the time to actually think about the problem as opposed to react to it. One of the things that occurs to me is that we've actually been here before. If you think about it, the ancient peoples that we've all descended from at one point in time had to address the same problems we have in cyberspace, which is how do we share the land, the air, the water, the wildlife that exists there. And what came out of that after years of evolution is what's called the law of the commons. And the precepts of the law of the commons actually contain the concepts of private ownership and public access to shared resources. And that's really the problem we're facing in cyberspace today. Now, we've had thousands of years of social evolution. We've been able to develop ethics and mores and political systems and law and philosophy to figure out what exactly has worked in land, air, and water and what hasn't worked. It's actually been very useful for us because it's helped us figure out how to share what was the newest of the shared commons, outer space. And we now have a treaty for outer space and how we share it and how we share it in terms of commerce and public use. Now we have a man-made commons, which is basically cyberspace. Unfortunately, cyberspace is a little different than the other four. We don't have thousands of years of experience of dealing with each other in cyberspace. We don't have body language, vocal tones, facial expressions that help us figure out, who do we trust and who do we don't trust. Now we do have emoticons and smiley faces, but they have been known to lie a little bit. Also, the physics of cyberspace are different. We don't have the same sense of cause and effect. The speed of the transactions that are taking place and the sheer volume of them are basically beyond human and social comprehension. However, we can learn from the law of the commons and basically, by analogy, figure out what are the bases for cooperation between governments and private enterprise in particular in trying to address the issue of cybersecurity. I think the starting point is recognizing that the government has an obligation to be a trustee of cyberspace for all of us, to be sure that there is fair and equitable access to cyberspace, to prevent unreasonable and destructive access to cyberspace, and to punish any malicious behavior that occurs in cyberspace. Keeping in mind that they are the trustee, we have to be cognizant of the fact that there